8 players get the tag today ahead of the 4 p.m. deadline. Brady, do you have a winner? I can't imagine that Green Bay doesn't feel like a winner keeping Davante Adams and potentially getting him to a long-term deal eventually.
Yeah, I think you match that with the fact that Aaron Rodgers decided to come back to Green Bay, and then you tag Davante Adams, and you keep everything in put. You'd have to look at their chances, too, of winning the NFC. Now, it's heightened with the fact that Tom Brady's retired, at least for the time being. We don't know if he'll decide to come back at a later point in time. But it seems like a much more clear path, too, now that Russell Wilson's out of Seattle. That's one less Super Bowl winning quarterback that you've got to deal with on that path to a Super Bowl. So, to me, the Green Bay Packers are the biggest winner with all the news that's come out today, and the ability to tag Davante Adams and then have him sign that. It's not like he's going to pull a Le'Veon Bell and not show up because Aaron Rodgers decided to go elsewhere and he wants out. This is a scenario where Rodgers is coming back. You can tag Adams, try to get him under a long-term deal, and now you've got a legitimate shot of going and winning an NFC Championship and playing in the Super Bowl and trying to win another one.
Yeah, it's going to get to like March 19th, and some team is going to spend a whole bunch of money in free agency the first couple days, and we're going to say that team won because they spent a whole lot of money on a bunch of guys whose names we know. Frankly, the Green Bay Packers have won free agency. They were able to retain Aaron Rodgers, who is not only the reigning NFL MVP, but the back-to-back NFL MVP, the 4-time NFL MVP. And they were able, of course, and it wasn't difficult, to tag Davante Adams because he frankly had no say in being tagged. But the Green Bay Packers so far have won free agency in order or by virtue of keeping those two guys in-house. They're going to pay for it. No question at all. They're going to be paying for it. But they are, without question, the big winners. The other ones that I'll give you, the Miami Dolphins, by tagging Mike Gesicki, whether they are ultimately going to have to go into arbitration and pay him a little bit more because they've used him slightly more like a wide receiver than a tight end traditionally, we'll see. But this still keeps the option for them open to reach a long-term deal with Emmanuel Ogbah as well. So they can still keep everything in front of them that they want, but they wanted to make sure that Tua had a safety blanket, and so tagging him was obviously the right move.
Okay, winners, Dolphins and Packers. Brady, do you have a loser from today?
Look, at this point, I think you'd have to say it has nothing to do with the franchise tag. It's probably Seattle. You trade away Russell Wilson. Yeah, you get a lot of compensation in return, but is Drew Lock really the long-term answer? He wasn't in Denver. Why would he be in Seattle? The players they got him replaced, Noah Fant and Shelby Harris, they obviously help your roster out immediately. But, you're looking at the draft picks. This isn't a great year for quarterbacks in the draft. So, are you in a spot or position where you can even get Malik Willis, or do you have to use some of that draft capital if you feel like he's Russell Wilson's replacement to trade up to get him? So there's a lot of question marks right now about Seattle. I know they had their first non-winning season with Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll, but kind of crazy to see how things transpired over the past year after their first non-winning season there in Seattle. Everything's kind of blown up. They're moving in a different direction. Maybe that came in large part due to Russell Wilson's wishes, but the truth of the matter is you're going to find out what life is like after Russell Wilson. And with the way that defense has played of late, it's not looking too good right now for the Seahawks in the NFC West.
No, it's not. And so right now they do appear to be losers. But Brady, you're right. They did get a lot of compensation. And so you lose Russell Wilson. How much compensation is enough? Well, it's really hard to replace a top 6 quarterback in the NFL. Is it ever going to be enough? But if they want to make a move for a veteran, if they have an eye on someone, if it's not necessarily a guy in the draft, they now have the ammunition in terms of draft capital in order to make that move if they so wish. But you're looking at a loser. The fact that the Jacksonville Jaguars are having to tag Cam Robinson for a second consecutive year, I don't think he's making anybody's top 5 list for left tackle. The fact that they have the luxury to tag him 2 consecutive years under 2 different regimes, I guess it makes it okay, but it's only okay because they've been bad that they can do it and still have plenty of cap space to do what else that they want to do. This, frankly, probably should have gotten done a year ago. So I'd look at them, and then also the Cincinnati Bengals. We talked about them earlier. Yes, they can keep Jesse Bates in the fold, but when you've already paid a draft classmate of his in Sam Hubbard, when you've already paid Trey Hendrickson, when you're going to be paying all these offensive linemen, Jesse Bates has been putting the work in there in Cincinnati. He should be getting paid there. And frankly, a franchise like Cincinnati that has had to fight against some sort of negative narratives over the years, and frankly, true narratives as it relates to how cheap the franchise has been. They should reward those that they have grown and harvested over the years. And so I ultimately think a deal's going to get done. But, if I have to pin a loser on somebody, I'd just love to see that deal have already gotten done for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.